Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Kluvo. Today we'll make this angel ornament from a mini charm square pack. It's fun and easy, so let's get started. A mini charm pack is 42 2.5-inch squares. Of course, I love the Snow Day by Moda collection, and it seems to always have 14 pairs and 14 individual fabrics. So I'm going to select something like this, and then something like, this is cute, for my angel. You can use any charm pack or mini charm pack that you like, but I'm going to go with my Snow Day theme, like the rest of my projects from this year. So this is going to be the dress of my angel. I'm going to seam up the sides here and here, and then I will press my seam allowance to the darker fabric, which will be in the center. Although both of these prints are scatter prints without a specific direction, I can see these snowmen right here. I want the bottom of the snowman to be at the hem. I will apply this lace with a narrow zigzag to the hem of the dress. And of course, now I will fold this over and stitch up the back seam. Turn the dress right side out. This will be the front, this is the back. This is made exactly like the regular charm pack, it's just smaller. And speaking of smaller, here's our little face. This is a 12mm head bead. If you would like instructions for the face, please watch my Focus on Faces video. This is a length of 6-inch tulle, which I'll fold in half. I think it's about 12 inches. And I believe this is about 12 inches of narrow ribbon, which I'll tie off in the center. And then I will thread the ribbon through the head bead from the bottom to the top. I pull the head bead down onto the tulle, adding a smudge of hot glue to the tulle in back. Hope you can see that. Then I'm going to slide the head down and then tie an overhand knot in the end of the ribbon loop, and that'll be the hanger. Now, of course, it's time to gather up the dress. I'm using a double strand of quilting thread, and starting in the back, I'm going to fold over this little seam allowance, so that kind of helps to secure the knot. And then I'm going to gather as close to the edge as I can, maybe 1/8 of an inch. This is such a petite little project. And I don't want to have a lot of excess seam allowance up there crowding her chin. So let's keep it pretty close to the edge. The edges on the mini charm squares are pinked, so they won't ravel too much. Don't have to worry about that. I like to use a thimble. So I get all those gathers onto my needle, and then I use my thimble to push them through. Before I pull up and tie off the gathers, of course, I'm going to insert the doll, the angel, like this, centering her face in front, and then I'll pull the gathers tight Wrap the thread around a couple of times. Go back and forth and knot off in the back to secure. And then I'll trim off the excess tulle. Next, I'm going to create a lace collar. I'll use about 10 or 12 inches of narrow lace. It could even be narrower than this. It's probably 3/8. I will fold over the end. Again, I have a doubled strand of quilting thread. And gather up the lace in and out, in and out. It only takes a second. Now that the collar is gathered, I'm going to place it around her neck. Secure it in the back. Distribute the fullness of the gathers so that there's not more on one side or the other. Stitch through from the back to the front just to make sure those ruffles can't wiggle around very much. And then tie it off in the back. Now let's add a little decoration to her neck. I have my favorite red baker's twine. I just stitch through. I think that's a little bit more secure than gluing the bow. I stitch through the front and tie it into a bow. It's hard to make a perfect bow, so I don't worry too much about it. Just try to get the loops to be a similar length. They don't have to be exact. Trim the ends even. I'm going to use one of these little lace flowers. It's like a daisy. These are not hard to find. There's a little drop of hot glue, and I'm going to place that right there. And of course, it also helps to secure the bow. I like to tie a little overhand knot in the end of each streamer, just so they don't fray. There we go. The hair is next. You can use any kind of yarn for hair, but since this angel is so small, I like to use a finer gauge yarn. I got this at Tuesday Morning. I'll show you what it looks like with a thicker yarn. It still looks fine. Here we go. This is an acrylic yarn, a big ball of acrylic yarn from Red Heart called Dreamy. And for this angel, I used that yarn. It looks fine. I only did 3 loops on each side, front and back. But for this one, let's use this finer gauge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give yourself a generous tail on the end to make it easy to tie. Go around the center, tie it off with a square knot, and then you have a nice little figure 8 bundle. One for the front, one for the back. Leave a nice long tail, then go around 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Leave yourself a nice long end and tie off the center. It does not have to be perfect. I will squeeze some hot glue onto the back of her head. Glue the center of the bundle right behind the hanging loop, and then pull the hair down to cover the back of her head and press that all into the glue. And then the second bundle is for the front. So I'll add a drop of glue to the front, right in front of the hanging loop, and then press that bundle right there. Then I'm going to add some glue on the side of the face, twist the bundle, and press it into the glue. Then on the other side, twist the bundle and press it into the glue. That side turned out perfectly. This side needs a little bit of work, and I lost part of her bangs. That's okay. So there's her hair and her little bangs sticking out. She needs a halo. It doesn't take much wire, about an inch of 20 gauge gold wire. You can use any color actually, I just like the gold. And I'm shaping it around my thimble. Kind of helps to provide that C shape or U shape. Can you see that? Then I will add a drop of glue to each end, and I will insert those ends into the hair so it's shaped kind of like a hairband. And then finally, we're almost done. She needs her wings. This is a 2.5 inch scallop circle that I cut out on my die cut machine, folded it in half, and stitched it together with a little zigzag. I'm going to add a spot of glue to the front center top right here and glue the back of her head onto the wing piece like this. How does she look? Easy. You can do this.